12 of After the Snap. We do this every Wednesday and Saturday, guys. We are here doing After the Snap. We have a couple things to talk about. Mainly that Thursday night football game. That was a big surprise, honestly, for that Thursday night football game. I was kind of like, wow, I did not expect it to go that same way. Me and him both did not expect that to go that way, but I think we're both happy. I mean, I'm happy. I'm not happy that I lost my bet. I'm happy they ran 4 touch pushes in a row and didn't give the ball to Saquon Barkley. I don't understand what's going on. We'll get into that. I did not send you that topic, but we will get into that for sure. That's probably going to be another topic I forgot to put in there where 4 touch pushes in a row. We got like for sure, like we don't have to talk about that one. But yeah, guys, after the snap, episode 12. I'm your host of Wager Zone. This is Hezzy Hybrid. Say what's up to the people, Hez.
What up, world? Good morning. Happy Saturday. Hope everybody's staying out the way and staying safe.
Yeah, and guys, Hez is always coming here pushing a positive attitude, like stay hydrated, safe. That's one thing I need to work on is staying hydrated. I drink too much damn coffee, where my body is just dehydrated all the damn time with all the coffee I be drinking. So I need to start taking Hez's advice on that one. But yeah, guys, if you guys are here for the first time, click that thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the page. We're on a road to 1,000 right now. We're at about 665. We're trying to get to 1,000 for the end of the year. So click that subscribe button. Also, click that thumbs up if you guys are here watching. It helps me generate more people to our videos, and we'd really appreciate it. So, guys, excuse me. Let's get right into the first topic of the day. Thursday night football. The Eagles lost to the Giants in basically a blowout. Honestly, like it did not look close, mainly for that second half. Like the first half, okay, it was okay, it was going decent, but that second half was basically a blowout. Like the Eagles did not score a point in that second half. It seems like everything they did was going bad for them. They would drive the ball down the field and they'll be at the 20 or the 10, then they'll interception or a fumble. They did it like 3 or 4 different times. I just didn't understand what was going on with the Eagles. Um, so yeah, with the Eagles lost to the Giants this week, I'll let you lead this one question off, Hez. Do you think the Eagles are officially in trouble as now after back-to-back losses to the Broncos and now to the New York Giants?
I'm gonna say yeah, they are in trouble because realistically, they just look all the way unproven on both sides of the ball, man. And Jalen Hurts isn't making necessarily the best decision. Like he kind of still had a good game, I guess, if you say stats wise, but
Mm-hmm.
he just really wasn't looking like himself for the most part. And their running game with Saquon is like literally non-existent. Overall, they're just not comfortable scoring, and it's just too many, busted plays and yards given up on that defense in that second half. So, um, I don't know what's wrong with them. Like, I know they've been kind of struggling with like little injuries and having players coming in and out of the lineups, but overall, they just don't look like the same team as we once were looking at them as. Like they
Mm-hmm.
are doing a complete opposite of what they were doing, which was dominate. So. Um, as we said, or as you just stated right now, is that when it really came down to the second half, because it was still a winnable game for them when it came down to halftime, but after that, it didn't seem like they just folded and didn't seem like they had an answer. Rather, if it was Dart out there making plays or Scatterboo just running everybody else just head on, and yeah, moving forward, man, they have a lot to figure out, especially if they want to come on top again and make a statement that they're excuse me, one of the best teams to play in the league right now, but. Yeah, I say they are in trouble, man, because if they play like this, they're gonna keep getting run over by no matter who they play.
Yeah, like I for sure say they're in trouble. I think after last week, we talked about if they lost their identity, and I think it's for sure they've lost their identity. We both said yes. You both feel like we lost their identity. They don't know what kind of team they want to be, and I think that showed all up yesterday's game. Like one thing about Saquon Barkley, earlier in the episode, I want to say like episode 5 or episode 6, I said I think I was wrong about Barkley. I said that Barkley was a guy that tends to have little yardage, and then he bursts off for a whole 80-yard touchdown, but he averages like 2 or 3. Last season, I said I was probably wrong about Barkley. He came in and got a good offensive line, and then he started showing 5, 6, 5, 6, and a whole bunch of yards and just running the ball down the field. Now he's kind of back to that Saquon Barkley that I saw with the New York Giants. And he has a good offensive line now, so I feel like there's no excuse really on that. But now he's back to averaging 3.5 yards per carry. And in that game alone, he averaged 2 yards per carry. Like, it was a really bad day for Saquon Barkley. It's been a really bad year for Saquon Barkley. I don't know if it's because he ran the ball so much last year that he's kind of like dropping down and not playing as well. But the whole thing with the team, I just don't know what's going on with them. Like you have Devontae Smith out there just hanging his head like this, is like kind of like sad. You have AJ Brown talking to the media saying, "I'm not getting the ball." Yeah, Barkley back there not running the ball that good. Jalen Hurts was looking okay for the beginning, pretty good. I mean, I want to say pretty good for the beginning of the season. Now for these last two games, Jalen Hurts is throwing the ball everywhere else besides to his receivers. Like it seems like he's missing wide open throws. He's overthrowing. He's underthrowing. He's throwing interceptions now. Well, one thing about Jalen Hurts is he didn't turn the ball over. That's one thing about Jalen Hurts. He wouldn't lose the game for you. But now he's starting to turn the ball over. They're starting to fumble, interceptions. I think everything is going downhill for the Eagles. So yeah, I agree with you. I think they are in big trouble, especially if they come out here and lose again next week. I don't know who they play next week because I haven't looked that far ahead. But if they lose again next week, that's just going to be crazy. Because arguably, because I know they only have two losses, they could have four. That Chiefs game came down to the wire, and they barely beat the Chiefs, so they could have lost to the Chiefs. They should have lost to the Rams. The Rams should have beat them. This a historically great two plays back to back, a great comeback, made them not lose. So at the moment, they could be 2-4. And so it just is showing right now that the Eagles are just very inconsistent. They don't know what kind of team they want to be. Saquon Barkley is not showing up at all. You know what it kind of reminds me about Saquon Barkley? It kind of reminds me of I want to say a fighter, because you guys know, if you guys know anything about me, I watch a lot of UFC. I watch boxing sometimes. Not a big boxing fan, but I watch a lot of fights. I'm a big fight fan. So it's like almost like that fighter that came in and had a crazy war of a fight. And then he wins the fight, but it was just a war. And then he comes out in the next fight and he just does not look the same. And it takes about like maybe like a fight or two to get him back, because he just comes back and it's like he took so much punishment last year. It's like he comes back this year and he just can't do it anymore. I don't want to say Saquon's washed, but it's starting to look that way. It's starting to look like he had that one last hoorah and had offensive player of the year, great numbers, almost broke the rushing record. Now this year, it's like he can't even get off the line right. Like he can't even do anything right at all. So with all that being said, I do believe the Eagles are in trouble. We'll see how they do next week. I can for sure say the Eagles are not making the Super Bowl this year the way they are playing. If they don't get everything together, they might have to trade AJ Brown. They might have to talk to Devontae Smith a little bit, like, hey, you know what? Like, we're trying to get the ball to you, but things are not working out because Saquon's not running the ball. And one thing about Jalen Hurts always does good when he has a great running game, because what he can do is he can play off that play action. Now the defense is starting to know that Saquon's not going to be able to run the ball that good. So you know what? Let's just stay back and let's make sure Jalen Hurts does not beat us over the top. And Jalen Hurts has only proven one time that he can do that this year, and that was against the Rams, which broke my heart. But he went out there and did it against the Rams. But it seems like every game ever since, Jalen Hurts cannot throw the ball over the top and win that game for them. He's starting to remind me of a not a young Russell Wilson, but like a washed Russell, like old Russell Wilson. How Russell, all he has is that deep ball, and it's like that's what Jalen Hurts is starting to look at right now. He's starting to just try to go deep all the time, and he's not even connecting on the deep ball. So it's kind of going everywhere with the Philadelphia Eagles. So yeah, I agree, they're in trouble.
Yeah, man. And the defense is one thing, but offensively, as we're speaking, like, um, granted, they get a little bit. They did get Brown involved on offense, because after all the drama that's been spewing the last weeks, so he's had like 6 catches and stuff. I
Hmm.
think like almost 8 yards, but it's like, all right, now you're starting to, but then it doesn't really look like it's natural. It doesn't look like it's going really in the favor of like the actual chemistry and the flow of the offense. Like it just looks forced. It looks like,
Hmm.
okay, like if we don't drop something for him on this drive, then it's gonna look bad on us. Like, why aren't you guys gonna give him the ball? But then you could say the same thing with Devontae, except for he had even less touches, and the only one that was leading and receiving was the tight end the whole entire game.
Hmm.
So it's like, I don't know, man. Like they have to figure it out real soon because a lot of teams are starting to expose them little by little, and next you know, they're going to be out of it if they don't make these little adjustments.
Yeah, like especially like with how they're playing. I'm not gonna lie. I think AJ Brown's whole entire demeanor is really costing them right now, because like now I feel like with all the chatter going on with him, it's kind of messing up the team's chemistry. So with that being said, I would like to move on to the next question, just because that's what I'm leading into, and I'll leave this one off. Is who deserves the most blame for the back-to-back losses for the Philadelphia Eagles? Is it Hurts? Is it the coaching? Is it the defense? Is it the receivers? Or is it Saquon Barkley not playing that well? Personally, I have to shift the blame on AJ Brown. I really do, just because. Yes, I know he's had a good couple games. Like you said, he's almost had 100 yards receiving these past couple games. He's catching like 6, 7 balls. But the point is like they're force feeding him, and that's the reason why their offense can't move. They're kind of, I feel like Jalen Hurts, instead of just scanning the field or running the ball, letting Saquon run the ball, the first thing he does when he gets in that shotgun, he gets the ball in his hands. First thing he does is he watches AJ Brown for too long to see if he gets open because he wants to give him the ball. And I think that's costing them the game. I really do believe they need to make a move. I think they need to get that headache off of them. Maybe, like I said, he just had a great game against the Bills. So I don't know if Stephon's going to want to leave at this point. But like I said before, Stephon Diggs for AJ Brown, get a veteran receiver that knows, you know what? I'd rather win than just get my touches. And younger Stephon Diggs, he was kind of the same way. He was like, I want the ball, I need the ball. I'm the reason why his offense is doing good. But now Stephon Diggs got older, and he's kind of learned a little bit. But yeah, I honestly I have to shift the blame on AJ Brown because just with all the chatter, all the talk every week. I when the people talk about the Eagles, at least for the past 4 weeks now, the topic is always AJ Brown, and that's not what you want. You don't want a receiver being the topic of your whole entire team, and not even for having great yards or great games. It's mainly because he's complaining about not getting the ball. So honestly, I shift the blame for these back-to-back losses on AJ Brown.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Majority of the blame I have to put it on him because since his rants, since his complaining for the last several weeks or so, it's been totally culture shifting for that team and not in a positive way. They're just
Hmm.
constantly, like you said, they're having to force feed him the ball, always constantly have to get him involved in general in that offense. And it's like, man, like the team is not always about you. You know, you have other dominant ball players out there that can make an impact. You know, especially you have the Saquons of the world, you have Devontae Smith, they have even their backups are, for the most part, always are being pretty much highlighted playmakers. So, um, yeah, if it's anything else that I will have to say other than him, then it would somehow have to do a little bit with slight bad coaching in a way too, because even in a game where it's like, okay, this is our game plan coming out, and clearly it's not working as best as we thought, then that's part of your job. You have to make these adjustments. You got to be like, okay, well, after we get hit this touches, let's try to switch it up a little bit and let's try to drop something that we haven't necessarily done before, and hope for the best. But at the end of it, it was like they're in a sense kind of playing one dimensional. Like they were just trying to rely too much on like, okay, let's keep running, and then let's put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands and see what he can
Yeah,
do. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, okay, if it's not working, then you got to go to something else. But eventually, like when the second half rolled through, and the Giants looked like as a whole team weren't really trying to, like, they weren't slowing down at all, no matter if they were
yeah,
passing or running the ball, and their defense was actually playing up to par. So it's like, okay, if they're feeling motivated coming out the locker room to actually feel like, yeah, we can win this game, and you know, towards the end of the game when Jalen Hurts threw that pick, I almost was starting to get that same feeling of when Mahomes threw that pick back on Monday night against Jacksonville.
yeah.
I was like, okay, like the game's not over, but I don't think they can kind of recover from that. So they just kind of lost it, their momentum and their confidence towards the end. And I'm like, man, like obviously this game is in the bag already because y'all are clearly not trying to score any more points and make this more interesting. So, but even though we didn't really have we pretty much had them coming out to win the game is and it ended up being the total opposite result. Um, they just really got to get back to finding who they really are.
Yeah, and one thing about last year, they were winning games by being physical, running the ball, winning the game in the trenches. They were doing really well with that, winning the game, showing everybody we're the tougher team. This year, it seems like they're trying to be like a finesse team, and they're not winning games like it. That's not what you do. Like Jalen Hurts is not a finesse player. Saquon Barkley is probably the only finesse player you guys have. AJ Brown is a guy that tries to catch the ball, but like he wants his touches more than wins, and it just not the way you go. Like the way they won the game was in the trenches, going down the field, running the ball, throwing off that play action. Now this year, they're just trying to have. I don't know if they're just trying to force feed AJ Brown, or is if they're like trying to prove that Jalen Hurts can make those throws and Jalen Hurts can win these games, but who cares about proving something? What proof stuff is when you win games. And the funniest thing is when their best games they've had is when besides the Rams game, because that was the one game where they actually won, where AJ Brown had a good game. All the other wins, AJ Brown wasn't getting that many touches. He wasn't getting
Mm.
all those balls thrown to him, and they were looking great. They were winning these games, but now it's like once they start force feeding him, they've lost almost all the games they force feed him. So, like I said, I shift all the blame, to be honest, on AJ Brown. I think they need to make a move, get that culture back to where it was, because I just think it's a really bad move so far. But like now, I want to stay with the Eagles real quick. The topic I did not send you because I forgot to send it. But that one drive, they had the ball at the 3 yard line, and they ran four tush pushes in a row to get the touchdown. One of the dumbest things I have seen in a very long time. Honestly, I'll let you start with this question. Is do you think the NFL should do something about this tush push? Because now it's getting to a point to where they ran it 4 times in a row from the three all the way to a touchdown.
Yeah, man. As we had said before in previous episodes, saying that like we pretty much can both come to an agreement that it wasn't even necessarily so much of a problem before compared to a lot of people have making complaints in recent past, but it's really getting ridiculous now. Like there was no reason why you should. It's one thing to run it maybe once or twice, maybe twice, but after that, it's like, man, you literally spent a whole drive in the red zone to punch it in just by doing the tush push over and over and thinking like, yeah, one of these plays is gonna work, or we're gonna actually get it
Hmm.
in. Like you have Saquon out there, or it's like you could have easily gave it to AJ Dillon, or you could have just um, play action and then just flip it out to the tight end. But it's like instead there was no actual game plan coming in and being like, yeah, we're gonna catch the Giants defense off their game, make it confusing for them. Obviously, like by the second time, they're just like, oh yeah, these dudes are literally gonna run the same play and just hope for the best and being like, no, well, it's worked for us before. Like there's no reason why they're gonna stop us now. So, but yeah, there was on some Madden stuff.
Yeah, I really think it's getting too far with this. With this whole tush push thing, like I was okay with it. Like, yeah, on fourth down, you have a 4th and 1. Run the tush push. Like, okay, I understand that. Like, it's a smart play. That's kind of like almost like running a QB sneak when you're on 4th and 1 trying to get a first down. Like, I was okay with that. But now, when you're running it 4 times in a row to get into the end zone, it is getting ridiculous. I think it's not good for the football. The from like the TV standpoint, like I think it's a horrible way to watch a game. Like, just watching it, I was like, this is dumb. I was almost about the game point where I'm about to turn off the game because I'm like, this tush push thing is like dumb. Like I don't not like it. But the one also reason why is because I had Saquon for a touchdown, so it kind of broke my heart that they did that. They didn't just hand the ball to Saquon. You're telling me you couldn't you couldn't hand the ball to Saquon at least 3 times in a row, and he couldn't get in the end zone. And if he didn't get in the end zone, you could run tush push on the last play. But kind of very, very, very dumb about that. I did not understand it. If I'm Saquon Barkley, though, I'm pissed about that. I'm really irritated. I'm like, you're telling me you guys don't trust me enough to get 3 yards when I have 3 chances to get 3 yards to get into the end zone. You guys really don't trust me. I was your offensive player of the year last year. I was the reason why we probably won a Super Bowl last year. But now you don't even trust me to get 3 yards to get into the end zone. That might be even another problem now. If I'm Saquon, I'm looking at them like, dude, did y'all forget what I did last year and how I can get 3 yards? 3 yards. You don't even trust me. You don't even trust me to get 2 yards on 3 carries to see even if I can get you to the one, so you guys can run tush push on the fourth down. It just it's getting out of hand. It's not an NFL play. It looks like a rugby play. And they just pushing the quarterback from the back, and they just trying. Everyone just dives forward. I saw again on two of the tush pushes. For the first time, the offensive lineman jumped and he was offsides. The second one, the defensive lineman jumped, he was offside. So you can't even officiate it especially when you're running it four times in a row. Like it's ridiculous. Like I said, if I'm Saquon, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, are you kidding me? Like, you can't give me the ball. And personally, and like I said, I'm even more mad about it because I had Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown, and then you're going to go out there. I'm not gonna lie to you. When they had the ball at the three, it was first and goal on the three. I was like, oh, Saquon going to get this. Then they ran the tush push, and that was the first time. I was like, okay, maybe they're trying to get to the one. Let Saquon punch it in. Then they ran a second time, and I was like, don't tell me y'all gonna do this four times in a row. Then they ran a third time, and I was just like, bro, I was sitting there like, dude, this is insane. Like, like I said, I don't like it. It's annoying. Like I told you before, when they ran it on fourth down, and it was like maybe even third down. Maybe you run it back to back. Once on you have third and one, and then you have fourth and one. Like maybe okay, that's kind of pushing it, but you still did it. It's okay. Fourth and one, I have no problem running it, but four times in a row from the 3 yard line, pushing your way all the way for 3 yards, it's ridiculous. And I think the NFL needs to put a stop to this, and I hope it gets banned after this year.
Yeah, straight up, man. Because I mean, obviously, that was practically other than Saquon. I was like, really, they just did that all last season, and that's the reason why they end up not only winning games but going all the way to the Super Bowl and winning it.
Hmm.
So could say it wasn't a problem before, but if you're going to be using it, and that's why I brought it up last time or when we had discussed this, is because I'm like, if you're going to do it, like I said, we don't have a problem with it, but you got to do it right. You got to do it in the most convenient situations, not just when you feel like it, because then that's
Hmm.
when you're going to have to start getting a bad narrative of like, okay, they're overdoing it. They don't seem like they don't really care. They're just like, and going back to Saquon, yeah, I'll be hella mad if I was like, yo, why aren't you giving me the ball? Like I almost have flashbacks and PTSD where I'm just like, are they really giving him this Marshawn treatment? Like, give him the
Hmm.
ball, So I'm like, man, the fact that they couldn't even, it's bad enough that you aren't really trusting him to get 3 yards. Like, really, he could do that in his sleep. He could take a step and he's already there.
He averages
But
3 yards per carry. You're telling me he couldn't come in there and get like it's.
yeah, like that's he eats that. That's what he does. That's what he does for a living. But Um, yeah, man, like I said, at the end of it, the fact that they kept running it over and over and over for 3, 4 plays straight, and they still couldn't get it in, it just shows how much a lack of confidence they have in that actual team, and that they seem like even before when they did it the first time, they're like, man, yeah, we're just gonna hope for the best. We don't know if we're gonna get it, and then even if they did, it's like, okay, where do you go from here? Are you gonna keep doing this every time when you get close to the goal line? So I don't know, man. It just looked really bad, and once they couldn't get in from those multiple tush pushes, then I was like, yeah, this might be the reason why they lose this game because they are just not making these on the fly adjustments or even trying to mix it up at all or just simply give the man the ball. I don't care if you just run a freaking halfback dive for 3 plays straight. Like, you're
Hmm.
going to give this man the ball. He going to get in there one of those plays.
Yeah, honestly, it's just like I think that was a perfect way you put it. It shows a lack of confidence from the coaching staff and their players. It really shows like they have no confidence in their team because I haven't watched enough Eagles games to tell you if they've ever done this before. But personally, all the Eagles games I've watched, I've never seen them run a tush push on first down. I've never on first down. I've never seen them run a tush push on first down. So it just shows that the coaching staff is thinking like they're desperate. They're at this point. They're like, well, I don't know if we can score, so let's just tush push it and try to do our best to get in. And it took them three times to even get. No, it took them four plays to even get into the end zone. So like it just shows that they don't believe in their team. That's another way this culture is going down. Because if you're running tush pushes four times in a row, especially on first down, when you have Saquon Barkley in the back, you're basically saying, I don't trust you, Saquon, to get this ball in the end zone. So we're gonna
Yeah.
just tush push it and do it our only way that we believe that we can get in the end zone, which is against the Giants. Like I'm don't get me wrong, like against the Giants, it's not like they were playing against the Rams defensive line or they were playing against a 49ers defensive line, but or even the Jags. They're not playing. You're not playing against one of these high-powered defenses. Yes, don't get me wrong. The Giants do have a good defense. They got some names over there, but the point is, You're going against the Giants in New York. Saquon wants to come in there and put on a game. He wants to come in there and show New York that, you know what, this is why you guys left me. You didn't have me. You know what you just showed New York? Oh, see, they don't believe in Saquon just like we didn't. Like that's what you're showing. Like, so it's the dumbest thing they ever did. If I'm Saquon, I'm really pissed off about that. I really am. And if you don't have confidence in your team, the one thing you want to do, because Saquon is having a bad year. He is having a bad year so far. You know how you get him some confidence? Give him the ball 3 times in a row and tell him you trust that man and get into the end zone. If he scores a touchdown, boom, confidence boosted because he's like, you know what? I just got a touchdown against a team where they've given up the fifth most touchdowns to a running back. The Giants have given up 6 rushing touchdowns this year. That's the fifth most in all of football right now. And now you literally just told Saquon, we don't trust you, like at all. Like you want to build the confidence of your team. You just stole confidence from Saquon. He's probably sitting there like, man, maybe I am this bad. Maybe I am washed because they didn't want to give me the ball like one time on the third down. Like it's dumb. Like it's dumb. Like I don't understand what they're doing. That whole culture has shifted. The whole team. AJ Brown is the only one. I'm like, why are you so mad? You're winning games, but now Saquon has every right to be mad. If I'm Saquon, I'm probably hot. I'm just like, dude, like you guys literally just showed you don't trust me. So I just, like I said, the tush push is dumb. 4 times in a row is way too much, and the NFL probably needs to get rid of it because have these coaching staffs go in their bag. Have them go in there and try to drop a play to get into the end zone instead of saying, "Hey, you know what? We're just gonna get behind and we're gonna push all the way to the end zone." Like it's it's dumb. Like at this point, Jalen Hurts got to get to the 3 yard line, maybe get a 6 or 7 yard play on first down. Then you can run touch push second, third, fourth, and you get 3 yards. Like it's dumb. Like it's gonna get too far eventually.
And that's the difference between that game and in the past when they did run the tush push like that, is that it was made to get that half an inch or that extra yard,
Hmm.
on a fourth down. Why would you run it if it's clearly 3 yards? That's that's like a no-brainer. Like somebody in Pee Wee football would have realized, like, yeah, we got 3 yards, run the ball. Like there's no
Yes.
reason why you need to tush push it for that many plays straight. And it wasn't even need to be on the fourth down. So you mean to tell me you couldn't get 3 yards in between three downs on a tush push when it's like, man, when have you guys ever ran a tush push on when it's just like second and third, third and three, when it's like you never done that before. You literally just done it when it was like when okay, the ball was just that much short, just like by the skin of their teeth, and they're like, okay, well, we're not gonna stress anybody else out. Just practically QB sneak this all
Hmm.
the way. So it was really just sad just to see. And like you said, like it just shows the desperation on that coaching staff, and they're just like, well, just keep running until we get it right. When it's like, man, and obviously you guys didn't do it, so now you really look like assholes. So I don't know.
Yeah. Like honestly, I you know what I wouldn't have had a problem with. Say if it was first down, 1st and 3. They ran the ball. Saquon gets 1 yard. Okay. You run the ball again. Second down. Saquon gets 1 yard or he gets stuffed at the line. Now it's 3rd and 2. Run the tush push then. Go back to back plays. Run the tush push on 3rd and 2 and maybe 4th and 1. Run it back to back and get the touchdown. I have no problem with it. But when you're starting your whole entire first and goal from tush pushing all the way, now, like I said, it's a problem. It really is a problem. It's annoying. As a fan watching it, I'm like, I almost want to turn a channel. It's like, you know what? Like, I might as well move to Australia or what, or watch the rugby players because this is what they're gonna do anyway. So it's
Yeah,
literally it's something I was just very annoying. So yeah, I'm getting myself annoyed now just thinking about it. So I want to move on to the next topic. So
heavy.
let's go on to the next topic. We're gonna get into the Giants now because we should talk about how bad the Eagles did, but we can't take it away from what the Giants and Jackson Dart and Scatterboo did. Scatterboo, man, real quick, I want to say I like Scatterboo. I do like that dude. That dude's a dog as a running back, but just the way he plays, he ain't gonna last very long in the NFL. Don't get me wrong. Is he
Nah.
is he putting up some numbers right now? Yes, he is, but taking that many hits, running your damn head into people, just putting your head down and doing that, bro. You have like a 4 year career. Like like you're about to be gone soon. Like I like Scotty, but don't get me wrong, I do. But he played that way in college, and now he's playing
Yeah.
that way in the NFL. You can't do that. Your career is going to be way too short. But besides Scotty, I just wanted to say that, like, I like the dude, but man, like. like, you need to play something a little bit different because, like I said, your career going to be short. But now with the Giants winning that game against the Eagles, they're now 2-4. Do you think the Giants can make a real playoff push after this huge win against the Eagles, being 2-4 right now?
Um, yeah, just for a
Mhm.
simple fact that 2-4 is not necessarily bad. I can understand if it's 2-4 and they're kind of, regressing down in terms of like how the team has been playing. But I mean, they literally just came and won back-to-back games, and them being against the Eagle, one of them getting being against. So I can see potentially making a push. If, as long as they keep it up in this level of obviously of intensity and good team on field decisions going forward. The team altogether, really, other than Dart and Scattaboo, they have to keep believing in one another to come up with these big plays. Um, they have to really do their very best to protect Jackson Dart, or else, I mean, as we've seen for that one play, or else suffer if they have to throw Russ out there. So, um, yeah, man. It's still really early in the season. They could go on a little run. They might have a little bit of a boost of more confidence now because they're like, oh yeah, we beat the defending champs. We beat our
Mhm.
division rivals. So, they have the tools to do so, man. Like it sucks that they can't move on with, but they look like they haven't really stressed about it too much. They're like, okay, next man up. Like no matter who's out there, we're just gonna work with what we have, and it's been working for them. So. Um, Realistically looking at it, if I mean, even with that loss they had before that game against New Orleans, like, yeah, I mean, you guys should have won that game, but even the fact that you didn't, you still bounced back and still made a huge win. But the
Mhm.
team overall, it's like you guys really, like I said, have the pieces and you guys got your mojo back, if you will. So there's no reason why you guys shouldn't, push forward and make a strong push for to kind of really be a wild card team or just a team that's like, yeah, like we know we probably not gonna really do too much in the playoffs this year, but when we do, a lot of teams gonna have to watch out because they could be that sleeper.
Yeah, to be honest, you know me, I picked the Giants to make the playoffs this year. In the beginning of the year, I said I thought Russell was going to struggle, and then they're going to put in Jackson Dart, and then Jackson Dart will lead them to the playoffs. Right now, Jackson Dart's 2-1. He's only lost. He's won 2 games, which I always say this. I don't understand it. I mean, that's this is football for you. This is pro football. People, I know people are gonna be like, "Well, it's rigged." I've had too many conversations this past week of people telling me that the NFL and the WNBA and the NBA is all rigged and all that. I'm like, guys, these games are not rigged. I feel like people just have a problem with surprises happening. When something surprising happens or a team doesn't do what you would do, they're like, "Oh, it has to be rigged." Because if I would have done that, then it's rigged. Like, no, it's not, guys. This is just pro football. I've watched sports my whole entire life. These games are not rigged. Like, it's just you lost money. Now you're saying it's rigged. That's just what happened. So
Yeah.
what I want to say is like it's the wildest thing that Jackson Dart comes in and beats the Chargers. He beat the Eagles, but lost to the Saints. Like, it's like, man, you lost to the worst team in the NFL, but it happens like that. The Saints were due for a win, and it happened to be against the Giants. Like, it happens sometimes. But back to where the playoffs, like about the Giants, if they would have beat the Saints last week and Jackson Dart was 3-0 and they were 3-3 instead of 2-4, I'd probably say yes. I'd be like, I think they can make the playoff push because this is what I expected. I expected them to make that playoff push. But now with them being 2-4, personally, in the beginning of the season, I thought they were going to beat the Commanders in week one. I did. I thought my wins for them is I thought they'd beat the Commanders. I thought they had it. I thought they'd beat the Cowboys. So I thought I had them starting 2-0. I thought they'd lose to the Chiefs. And then I thought they probably lose to the Chargers. They beat the Saints, and then they lose to the Eagles. Personally, is how I had the beginning of the year. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I had them being 3-3 right now. Like as if in the beginning of the year, looking at the schedule, I had them being 3-3. But now one game back from 2-4, I don't know if they can make that playoff push because it's that one game might be a big deal right now, just because the Cowboys are looking a lot better than I expected. The Commanders, they're kind of doing what I expected. I thought they were gonna make a push, but I didn't know if Jaden Daniels was gonna stay healthy all year. That was my biggest thing. I didn't think he would be able to stay healthy. But now tomorrow, I mean, just look at the schedule, upcoming schedule. This up for the next 5 games. This is the reason why I said I don't know if they can do it anymore. Because if they're 3-3, maybe, but They got the Broncos next week in Denver. They got the Eagles in Philadelphia in a rematch. They got the Niners at home. They got the Bears in Chicago. They got the Packers at home, and then they get the Lions in Detroit. And that's all a November schedule. Personally, just looking at these games, how these teams playing, I think they lose to the Broncos. I think the Eagles might get their get back on them. It depends if the Eagles get their culture back. They're playing in Philly. That might help a little bit. But I think the Eagles are going to probably come to that game with revenge now. They're going to. I had them splitting it. Like I did. Like I had them probably splitting. That's usually why I think about divisional games. I think they might split it. But I think the Eagles are going to try to come back and get a rematch on that win. I think they beat the Niners in New York. I think that's possible. I think they beat the Niners. I think they beat the Bears in Chicago. I think that's back to back wins. And then they probably lose to the Packers and they probably lose to the Lions. So at that point, I think they're going to be way too far behind. And then that's when their schedule gets a little easier. Maybe they can make that push later on because then they got the Commanders at home. They got the Patriots in New England. They got the Vikings at home. They got the Raiders. They got the Cowboys. So it's gonna come down to the wire. Like that's why I said if they were 3-3 right now, I'd be like, you know what? I think they can make that playoff push. They get one surprising victory and then win the games they're supposed to win. They can do it. But now being 2-4, I think that one game might cost them. I can literally see them finishing one game out of the playoffs. So they're gonna need instead of like I said one surprising win, they're gonna need two now. They're gonna have to come in here out of these games. They're gonna have to win at least two of them. The Broncos, the Eagles, the Packers, the Lions. They're gonna have to win at least two of those games. And out of those four, I don't know if they're gonna be able to win two. They might win one. They might get one, but I don't know about two. So if they were 3-3, I'd be telling you that playoff push is going to come. They can probably get in just a slight wild card. But now with that 2-4 start, that loss to the Saints might have really cost them that playoff push. So I'm going to say I don't think they can make that playoff push anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, man. I don't really expect too much of the Giants, even if they did come out of that division this year, which we were hoping. Compared to a lot of other juggernauts in nearby divisions and other conferences, clearly they weren't really set up to actually do anything special, per se this year. So, the only thing that anybody could really look for and hope for is the fact that of what they're expecting out of him now, which is eventually put in Jackson Dart, because we know Russell Wilson is not necessarily the same player as he once
Hmm.
was. Obviously, it's showing for it now. So, yeah, they really have a pretty, I mean, a really tough schedule coming in, as mentioned all the teams in the season. So, um, yeah, that window of opportunity is really starting to kind of look very slim, because not only how they're playing on the field, but you're going against really tough opponents that are already looking to be in the playoff mix, and it's barely not even halfway through the season yet. So,
Yeah.
um, as you said, if they're gonna have a little fighting chance, they're gonna have to win at least a couple of them. But even then, it doesn't even look like they're going to. So, um, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually didn't make the playoffs this year. But one thing's for sure is that regardless of how this season ends up being for them, is that clearly going into next season, even though nobody's really trying to jump too far ahead, is that Dart is going to be that one, or he
Yeah.
should be the one to start it off for them.
Yeah, I like how you had a perfect segue into the next question because now you just brought up Jackson Dart, and that's what we're gonna go to. Which how Jackson Dart's been playing 2-1. He's beat the Eagles. He's beaten the Chargers. He did have one bad game, but he's a rookie. You expect at least one, maybe two bad games throughout the year. It just happens sometimes like that. But with how Jackson Dart looked yesterday, how he looked against the Chargers, is Jackson Dart quietly making a case for Rookie of the Year?
I believe that he is. He's shown a very strong case just by the way that he's playing, and also the way that he's also taking full control of these games as well.
Hmm.
Like, as we said before, if the G man just had stopped playing and just put him out there, then we said that they weren't going to regret it. And
Yeah.
now look at him. He's literally blossomed. He's literally blossoming into a star, like right before our early eyes. So it's like, man, what's not to like about the guy? And then, you know, we didn't realize. I mean, we all knew of his capability coming out of Ole Miss, and knowing that, like, he really is a good quarterback. If anything, he was one of the top quarterbacks to come out of the draft this year. So, um, yeah, I would say he really is making a strong case for that, because I mean, there's not really any other rookie quarterbacks like that that's really showing that on the field, regardless if they gotten the opportunity or not. So
Hmm.
he just is very fluid, man. He looks very comfortable in that offense, and he doesn't even care. He's like, man, you could throw a bunch of training camp people out there, people who didn't even look like they were gonna touch this field at all, let alone practice, and I guarantee you I'm gonna still make the most out of it. I'm gonna get mine, and I'm gonna get everybody else involved. You could tell he's very unselfish as well. So yeah, man, he's in my opinion, I have to put him at least top three rookie of the year for sure, and up there with like the Abukas and other names I can't even think of at the moment. But yeah, I would say
Hmm.
so.
Yeah, I do believe he's making a quiet case for rookie of the year for sure. I don't think he's won right now, versus personally, but the one thing he has on his side is he's a quarterback. And those rewards kind of lean towards quarterbacks. Like the quarterbacks are always going to be to get that extra push because they're the guys that they're like the star of the team. They're the ones that probably get the most credit out of everybody on the football field. So that's where Dart's going to have a if he keeps playing like this, that's where he's going to have a good push for it because he's a quarterback. So that helps him a lot. But personally, I have him at two. He is making a case for it, but I have him at two for rookie of the year right now because hands down, number one's Emeka Ibuka. Emeka Ibuka is hands down the rookie of the year so far this year. That man is becoming a star. Like that man is doing things in Tampa Bay. I know you're very happy about that because that man is balling out there in Tampa Bay, and him and Baker have looked like they clicked already. So I do think Jackson Dart's making a quiet case for it because I do have him at two with how good he's been playing, and he has two good wins against two really good teams. And he's a quarterback, so it will help him out later down the road. But if Emeka Ibuka keeps playing like this, how he's been playing in the beginning of the year, Emeka is going to run. He's going to run away with this whole entire. He's going to run away with the whole entire rookie of the year race. I just think right now Ibuka is a spot. It's probably going to come down to Dart or Ibuka, and I think Ibuka is right now leading the race. So Jackson Dart is making a case, but just the way with Ibuka is playing, Ibuka has to be leading the rookie of the year ladder right now.
And on a side note, man, going back to on the field, or on the field play, I really don't like how the fact, like, I get that it's meshing very well, and they're both pretty much rookies on that team. Talking about Jackson Dart and Scatterboo,
Hmm.
and they complement each other very well. But I feel like he's getting a little bit. That's been kind of like the jokes pretty much this entire week so far, or the last few days really, is that it seems like Jackson Dart is getting a little bit too close to to Scatterboo in a way, because I don't know if you've seen that one play when he was looking like he was trying to run somebody over, but instead he went straight like heads on trying to spear him, and I'm like, bro, stop doing that,
Yeah,
Scatterboo. Stop trying to headbutt everybody. Like, you're the quarterback. Like, you out of all people don't need to be doing that.
he would have got hurt, man. I swear, if he, I said this, Scatterboo, the way he plays, he's gonna have a 4 year career and he's gonna be out. Like I swear, like he's not gonna last that long. He's not a Marshawn. Marshawn and Derrick Henry, they can play that way because they're big, they're massive, they can play that way even going back to like a Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker had a great way.
Yeah.
He was big. You can play that way, but Scatterboo's very small. I know he's thick, but he's very small. So you can't play that way. And Jackson Dart, man, he gonna get hurt if he keeps doing that stuff. He is going to get so. I hope Jackson Dart just I hope the coaching staff say, "Hey, I know you like Scottaboo, but don't play like Scottaboo. Like, don't play like him. You're gonna get yourself hurt. You're a quarterback." So, yeah, I agree with you.
Seeing him literally just, he's literally just, quarterbacks, they, right before they're short of the first down, like they're trying to make that extra contact or run over the defender right before he gets out of bounds. But clearly he like lunged
Yeah,
2, 3 yards, bro, and just caught a headbutt. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you really want Russ to take over this team? Like, boy, you better stop.
yeah, like that is just not smart on Jackson Dart's on his head at all. That is not smart for him to do. Because I agree with you totally. Like he needs to stay away from playing like Scatterboo. Like, bro, like I feel like he watches Scatterboo do it and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna do it too, just so I can show that we're tough, bro. Like you don't gotta prove that. You know, like well, you know what makes you tough? Coming back and playing the next week. And keep playing. That makes you tough. Like making sure you're on the
Please.
field. So but yeah, like
Ha.
now that yeah, I don't understand why he even wants to play like that. But now we're getting to our
Like, take
next
a
topic.
day off. Stop hanging out with him.
Yeah. I saw one picture. It said, I think I sent it to you. It says Scatterboo and Dart look like some pit bulls, or how they like how Scatterboo sitting there like this, like that, and then Jackson Dart walking up like this, like they look like they're like two pit bulls standing there like playing with each other. Like I like it though. Don't get me wrong. I like it. They're funny. I like it. I like how they're really great fans. But don't play like Scatterboo. You can be his friend as much as you want, but don't play like him. Because Scatterboo, I'm confident he's gonna be out of the league in like 3-4 years the way he's playing. Like ain't nobody lasts that long playing like that. But
No, unless you
yeah,
Adrian
they have to
Peterson
be
or
in. Those are
somebody.
big guys. Like those are big dudes. Like you have to. But yeah, man. So now our next topic is which team is in a must win a must win this week? If you look at the whole entire schedule, the standings of how they're playing, which team do you believe is probably in the most must win for the whole entire? I have two on my mind, so I'll probably give out two. I'll leave this question off, but for the two teams I believe that are in a must win this week, just with the standings and everything and how they're playing and who they're playing against. Number one is the Rams. I said this before that the Rams were in a must win against the Colts, and they went out there and won. Now, this is another must win for the Rams. Coming out that loss to the 49ers, the Rams have to beat the Ravens. There's no Lamar. You're going to be going against Cooper Rush. Yes, you're playing in Baltimore, but still, you're the better team. You are better than the Ravens, first of all. You're just a better all around team than them. You are playing a backup quarterback. The Rams have no business going into the Baltimore and losing this game. And if they lose this game, it's going to be a long road ahead for them to get up because like you're already going to fall behind the division. Personally, I'll get into my predictions right now, but I mean I'll get into my predictions after we get our full slate. But I'm gonna tell you guys right now, real quick, quick. I'll give you guys my score, but I have a quick like a spoiler for you guys. I think the Seahawks lose to the Jaguars, so that will help the Rams in the standings. I think the Niners I think the Niners lose to the Buccaneers this week. That's going to help you in the standings. So if the Rams just go in there and beat the Ravens, how they're supposed to beat the Ravens, they're going to jump to the top of the division. And they lose to the Ravens. Yes, I do believe as they lose to the Ravens, I do believe the other teams lose, but still, like you are not taking advantage of what you need to take advantage of. So I think the Rams are in a clear must win, coming off that loss where they should have beat the Niners. They have to win this game. So the Rams are my number one must win spot, I think, out of everybody. But like I said, I had two because I was looking at another one. I can't leave them out. The Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City's
Yeah.
playing in Arrowhead. They're going against the Lions. With the Lions, I think we both had them the number one team in the league this year so far. I think we both had them the best team in the league right now. But you're playing at home. Arrowhead, it's a different animal out there in Arrowhead. You guys play really well out there. Your fans always show up, but you guys have to beat the Lions because if they lose to the Lions and they go 2-4, if the Broncos win and the Chargers win this week, they're just gonna go jump ahead a little bit more. And I do believe the Broncos and Chargers have some good matchups this week. So the Chiefs have to win this game. I'll let you guys know who I'm picking to win the game. But as of right now, those are my two teams that are in a must win. Rams number one and Chiefs number two.
Yeah. I had a few myself. And the two teams you literally just mentioned are on top of the list. Like the Rams for sure got to come out with a W this week because they just clearly have to take advantage of what Baltimore is lacking right now, such as their leader on the team and their defense is literally nowhere to be found right now. Like they just gave up so many points to that Houston team last week, and I was like, really? That's what y'all want to do? Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, like you guys are gonna really put yourself in this hole and you're gonna expect Lamar to come off straight off an injury and be like, yeah, well, I'm gonna have to lead him literally by myself because clearly just even having Derrick Henry back there is enough for them to put some points on the board. So um Definitely, yeah. The Rams are gonna have to come out and be like, yeah, we're gonna win this game no matter what. Definitely the Chiefs as well because I mean at this point they don't have a choice. You know, like
Yeah.
they have to in order to keep their season alive with playoff hopes and just really having a successful season, regardless if they go far or not. It's like, man, you guys are clearly not playing necessarily not really playing winning football, but when it comes down to clutch time, they're not coming out with no W's. And it's like these
Mhm.
boneheaded mistakes and these drops and clearly it's a little bit you could tell it's a little bit more pressure on Pat Mahomes now in terms of when he's in the pocket. So he's clearly having to step out more and just kind of having to fling it and then hopefully he just has a little bit of that magic touch for one of his receivers just to kind of come up like and it's just been really tough because you know Worthy just came back, but Travis Hunter was on his ass the entire game. So it was it
Mhm.
was it was really hard to really go to Pat Mahomes number one, and Travis is still there, but he's not really doing much this season as everybody expected him to be. So it's definitely a must win for them in order just to kind of keep themselves alive in that conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody really much noticed the obvious is that they'll either come out really hot and then they'll just start like dying down a little bit, or it starts off rough, but then they go on a little roll and everybody's making a noise like, oh, okay, like the Chargers might actually do something this year. They might sneak in there, but when it comes down to it, they just somehow seem like they get out of sync and they're just not really playing their game like that. Like you can only put so much on Justin Herbert because on pretty much any given day, even on a loss, he's going to play his game. But even then, he's been struggling a little bit, and then they're still trying to their running back situations. The defense, for the most part, they got some really good names out there, and they can make plays when they want to, but they just get lost in coverage sometimes. And it's that one play, like they can do their thing for 3 down straight. Then next thing you know, when it really matters, like they just get beat over the top, or it's these little plays where they can't wrap up. Next thing you know, the receiver's taking off sideline. So yeah, I feel like it's a must win for them because they literally lost 2 games back to back against division rivals. So um and even though we just spoke about them, I don't feel like they're going to. Obviously, we're going to get into the predictions, but um, it's less likely they're going to do it. But I feel like the Ravens are going to have to prove something. Like it's going to be really tough. It's going to be against the Rams. Obviously, they're probably thinking themselves, we're probably not gonna come out the W, but at least make it competitive. At least make it a little bit closer of a game. But with Lamar being out clearly for another week and defense is giving up this many points to Houston, as I said earlier, and they just really got to reestablish themselves and by playing better simply and holding their own in that division. So, um, yeah, man, that's pretty much the teams that I would say it's a must win for.
Yeah, honestly, I forget all about the Chargers. It is a must win for the Chargers as well. I agree with you. Like they're playing the worst defense in the league. If Justin Herbert can't go off against the worst defense in the league in the Dolphins, where we both like the Dolphins are just not it, like
Yeah,
at all. Like so, the Chargers are in a must win as well. So that's a good spot too. And yeah, the Ravens are in a must win, but it's more of like I feel like their season's already over. I feel like I couldn't put a must win on them just because I'm like 1-4. I feel like your season's already done. Right before we get into our predictions, because yeah, like we both are all saying the Rams must win, Chiefs must win. I agree with you on the Chargers must win for sure. Like those three teams are probably the most must win for the whole entire week. But just right before we get into our predictions, I just want to ask you a question. If the Ravens come out here and lose to the Rams and they're 1-5 to start the season, I said, do you bring Lamar back? Do you even bring him back, or do you just shut him down for the season? Because I let me go look at the schedule going forward real quick before you answer that. I'll let you know their schedule going forward because Lamar might be back next week or it might be the following
Yeah.
week. It's gonna be one of those two games where he's gonna be back either next week or the week after. So if the Ravens go 1-5 after they lose to the Rams, they got the Bears, the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Browns, Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals. Actually, you know what? With I just looking at that schedule, I think I answered my own question. I think I do bring Lamar back. I think I do. You know why? Because those are all winnable games. I thought they'd have a harder schedule after that. Like I thought they really have a harder schedule, but it seems like it says Lamar comes back next week. The Bears at home, I think they can beat the Bears. The Dolphins, they can beat the Dolphins with Cooper Rush. The Vikings, they can beat the Vikings. The Browns, they can beat the Browns unless Shador starts. Shador starts, upset watch. But they can beat the Jets, and then they can beat the Bengals without Joe Burrow. Now they have Joe. I know why they traded for Joe Flacco because they wanted another Joe as their quarterback. And I see. I saw what they did there. I saw why they did it. They said Joe Burrow. We're gonna keep with the Joe. You're just like I see why they got it. They say you know what we got to keep Joe as our starter. But personally, yeah, I guess I answered my own question. And no, what do you think about that? I think they should bring Lamar back. I guess because all those games are winnable.
The team that's left pretty much a powerhouse team that they have to go up against is this week, literally
Hmm.
against you guys. And obviously, we don't expect them to come out with that win, but when they pretty much go 1-5, they have the rest of their schedule on their side. Like these are winnable games. So if you bring back Lamar, let's say if he comes back next week, right after this Rams week, then these are winnable games. These could potentially be the reason why you guys go on a run. And if you guys do go on a run, then you can't let the foot off gas. You gotta get everybody back on the same
They have to win out.
defense has to really make these big plays. And you gotta expect them to kind of actually, you know, come out with some type of fire, man, because giving up that many points to Houston and just not really looking good. I understand your star quarterback's not there, but that shouldn't be the reason why that decides for the whole team in general. Like, and before the season even started, we even said like, yo, they got the pieces to make a little run again this year. But even with that being said, it's like there's no confidence on that team, man. So um and having Cooper Rush out there isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you guys aren't even adjusting. You're not even giving him enough time. So it's like if they keep losing these games, like what, just gonna keep throwing him under the dumpster fire? It's like no,
Mhm.
it's you guys aren't doing what you're supposed to do. Like even from special teams to the pass rush is nowhere to be found. These I don't know where he's getting these DBs from. They just had it was so bad they had to go get CJ Gardner out of free agency.
Mhm.
So I'm like, what's going they just arguably traded their best pass rushers to the Chargers too. So it's like, man, I
They
don't know
might be
what
giving up.
direction they might be giving up. They're gonna try to throw the white flag already, but if they can just get through this week with you guys against the Rams and they can get Lamar back sooner, they have just a little bit of a chance, but they really have no room for error and they can't afford to lose one or two games down this road because like we said, they should be like if you would have asked if somebody would have asked us early in this before the season started, like after they get through a few the fact of where they are now in the early in the season, they really have a choice, man. Like if they want to win, or else they're gonna just if they don't have that mentality, then you might as well just mar for the rest of the season. Because why risk him getting hurt over games that's really means nothing at the end of the day.
Mhm.
But you could also argue that you guys have a fighting chance. So I'd be really surprised if they end up do coming back after they take the L this week. So that's just really only
Yeah, I would say they lose to the Rams this week, and then say if Lamar's not back next week, and then they lose to the Bears, because I think Lamar has a chance to come back next week, but just in case he doesn't, and then they lose against to the Bears, and then they're 1-6. At that point, I just shut Lamar down. Like, there's no reason to come back at 1-6. Like, there's no reason. But 1-5 with that schedule coming up, arguably they win all those games, and then they go back to being 5-5 or 6-5 after that. But if they go 1-6 and they lose, and because Lamar doesn't come back against the Bears, I think at that point you shut them down. So I think they had to wait probably till next week to answer that real question. But as of right now, yeah, yes, it's possible to bring Lamar back. If he starts next week, it's possible they can make a run for it. You never know. You never know how it goes. But now, guys, the moment everybody waits
Right.
for, our predictions for week 6 coming into this slate. Guys, we're going to get into our week 6 predictions. First game on the whole entire slate. The game is going to be played in London. This team always plays in London. You know why this team always plays in London, guys? I have the inside scoop. Because the owner of the Jets, I can't remember his name, but the owner of the Jets also he is very good friends with the team with the Tottenham Hotspur and those guys in London. The Tottenham Hotspur. He's very good friends with the owner over there. So the Jets always play in London. If you guys notice that, they're always out there because the owner of the Jets is really good friends with those people in London. So yep, but Broncos taking on the Jets in London. So both these two teams are basically on the road. So who you got for this game?
Um, Obviously, it's kind of it's pretty obvious that you know Denver is just a better team overall. It doesn't even matter where they play at this point. They could have played in New York, but I just don't see any type of improvements from this Jets team whatsoever. And Denver's coming off a pretty good start. Especially
Mm-hmm.
they were already doing good, but the fact they came out and beat Philly last week in Philly, so I know they're already gonna come out and make another statement like, yeah, we're gonna play somebody that's kind of three down notches compared to the Eagles team they just played. So, um, for score wise, I think I'm gonna say 30. Shoot, I'm gonna just say this: the Jets don't even really score much, so I'm gonna say 37 Broncos.
Said 30-7 Broncos.
Yeah,
Personally, I think you're on something right there as well because the Jets just don't have a good offense. The Broncos have probably the best defense in the league right now. Them and the Jaguars are playing the best defense. So I think Fields is going to struggle. I think it's going to be a very good game for the Broncos. So yeah, I'm almost on the same page. I'm going to say Broncos 30. I'm going to say 30-10. We're almost on the same page. But yeah, I got Broncos 30-10 winning that game. Now, next game, really good game coming up. This one is going to be the Seahawks going in Jacksonville, taking on the Jaguars. Who you got for that one?
is
Hmm.
because you got Jacksonville's defense, but then you can't because they just got Sam Darnold out there, and they put up a big fight against my Bucks last week too, to where they could have ultimately won the game. So it could have been either or if it wasn't for Levante David making that clutch pick that set us up. We were struggling for the most part. So um, 8-27.
28-27. Our score is almost the same. I got Jacksonville winning this game. Coming off a win against the Chiefs, I feel like confidence is very high. The defense is very good. Their DBs are killing it right now in Jacksonville. One thing I can say about Travis Hunter, I've always thought this. He's a better DB than he is a receiver. So that's the reason why they probably play him more on the DB side because he's a better
Yeah,
DB. Hands down, right now in his rookie year, I feel like he's like a top 6 DB already. So that defense for Jacksonville is nasty. I honestly do believe Sam Darnold's going to struggle a bit throwing the ball. I think it's going to have to be a Kenneth Walker the third game where he's going to have to come out there and run the ball really well. But Jacksonville's defense is
yeah.
elite. I see Sam Darnold throwing a pick, maybe even two, because like I said, these DBs are nasty over there in Jacksonville. I think it's going to be a close game as well, but I think it's going to come down to where um, Sam Darnold struggles a little bit and loses this game. I'm going to go with the Jaguars winning this game. I'm going to say 27-24 Jaguars.
Yeah, we are pretty much on the same page. And I just read last night before I went to bed too that the Jags just made a trade. I don't remember the dude's name, but pretty much got a pretty decent corner from. They traded one of their corners for another corner from Cleveland that just fits into the system better. So I was like, oh, so they just got even better on the DB side.
Yeah.
So man, it's it seems like it was a positive trade overall, and that they're only getting better.
Yeah, like they've already had a good DBs back there. They already have a good defensive line. They lead the league in interceptions. They lead the league in turnovers overall. So they're doing really well. And I honestly do believe Sam Darnold throws a pick this game. And like I said, I think it's going to be a close game, but it's going to come down to where Sam Darnold struggles throwing the ball, and then Jacksonville pulls it out. Next game,
Yeah.
me and you basically already gave for the next three games. Me and you basically already gave our predictions for. I mean the next two, but we're gonna get into our actual scores. Dolphins taking on the Chargers. I'm gonna lead this one off. I'm Chargers. I think Chargers must win this game. Must win this game to actually prove that they're still around. I think Chargers going to Miami win this game pretty easily. Miami has a horrible defense, so I think Justin Herbert's gonna eat them alive and actually have a really good game. So I think Justin Herbert and the Chargers win this game. I'm gonna say 30-14 Chargers win this game.
As legit the same score I had. I had 30. I had 31-14, but pretty much right there. Yeah, I don't. It's Miami. If it's they're arguably, if not the top three worst teams in the league, other than the Saints, and if it's anybody else that tops both of them, it'd probably be the Jets. But Um, yeah, I don't really see them doing too much. If they do end up scoring like a couple times, it is probably going to be really late in the game. By that time, it's just really late. But overall, the Chargers just they're going to come back and make us. Not only they're hungry to come back and make a statement like, "Nah, we're not going to lose 3 games in a row," especially to them. But they just clearly are just a better team, and they're going to overpower them.
Yeah, they're clearly a better team. The same exact thing for the next one. Rams playing against the Ravens in Baltimore. Guys, this is another must-win game. We just said for the Rams. Rams have to win this game, but I think the Rams eat them alive. I think that defense is going to get the Cooper Rush. I think Cooper Rush is going to struggle. I think everybody comes out there and has a great game against the quarterback wise is a great game against the Ravens. Their DBs are just not holding it down. The secondary is easily getting eaten alive by every quarterback. I think Matthew Stafford comes out there has a really great game. Honestly, I'm gonna say a easy victory for the Rams. Which one thing about the Rams in the past year, I feel like we haven't had one easy win. I feel like we always let the game be too close when we pull it out at the end. Which this is gonna be the game. I feel like we should win easily. So I'm gonna say the Rams pull this game off. I'm gonna say 37, 37-17 Rams.
Mm, yeah, I don't think Baltimore has enough to even really compete with the Rams, regardless of who they have out there. So yeah, I'm gonna say 33-16 Rams.
Yeah, so we both kind of think the Rams win this game very comfortably, honestly. Like I don't see how the Rams don't win this game comfortably, to be honest. I think they're just a way better overall team. So yeah, the Rams should come out there and win this game easily. Next game, Cardinals going into Indianapolis, taking on the Colts. Who you got for this one?
Ugh. You know, being an official as a resident of AZ now, and was really trying to hope for the best for Kyler this upcoming season. Obviously, he's just been highly disappointing. Um, I really wanted to kind of pick them this week, but and I'm still trying to say too that Indy hasn't really played anybody either. Clearly, they're not doing that this week either. But um, I feel like
Hey, is you there? I did
um,
not hear you. I think you
yeah.
froze a little bit. I didn't hear your score. What was your score?
No, I said pretty much. I just don't think, as much as I would like to root for Arizona, they just haven't shown anything to me or to anybody that they are going to be doing anything spectacular. So, and as much as Indy hasn't played anybody of a powerhouse like that, obviously they're not doing that this week either. So, um, I feel like AZ might try to compete a little bit to try to show some type of improvement. So, I'm gonna feel like it's gonna be a slightly a little bit close, but I feel like Indy's gonna pull away maybe like 24-20.
Honestly, I kind of believe the same exact thing. I wanted to come in here and say the Cardinals are going to win this game, but they haven't showed me anything that says they're going to win this game. If they were at home, I might be coming in here saying they're going to win the game at home in Arizona. But since they're playing in Indy, Indy's been playing really well recently. I picked against Indy last week. I took the Raiders, and that just did not go well at all. But I'm gonna have to go with Indy winning this game. But I do believe this game is close. I do think the Cardinals cover the spread. I think it's gonna be a nail biter all the way to the end. But I'm taking Indy to win this game. Like you said, I say 24-21. Indy probably win it under like a walk-off field goal at the end of the game because I think it's gonna be a very close game.
Yeah.
Now, the next game is going to be the Cowboys going into Carolina playing these Panthers are actually winning some games recently, but Cowboys going into the Carolina. Who you got for this one?
Um, I'm gonna say Dallas is still gonna be ultimately on their game. They just I seen this morning actually they just lost their backup Miles Sanders for the season for like a knee and ankle injury. But overall, not to downshade him or anything, but he wasn't really a factor anyhow. And the only
Hmm.
time he actually showed a little bit of signs is when they lost that first game against Philly when the Jalen Carter suspension happened. But Dallas just looks really good right now. Their offense looks like they're on top of their game. They look like they're really slowing down at the moment. Carolina, I still don't necessarily believe in them, even though they showed signs in the last few games that they can improve. But I just feel like it's going to be entirely too much for them to handle at the moment, even if they are playing at home. So I'm gonna just say 31-17 Dallas.
31 what?
31-17 Dallas.
We almost have the same as that score. We had the Panthers scoring 17. I have the Panthers scoring 17 as well. I think the offense is going to be too much for the Panthers. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up. I think the Panthers score about like 17 or 20. I was debating 17 or 20, but I think I'm just going to go 20 because I want to give a little bit more respect to Bryce Young. So, and the Cowboys defense hasn't been playing as good. So I want to give the Panthers 20, but the offense for the Cowboys is very high powered. I think they're going to score 30 plus. I'm going to say 35-20. Cowboys win this game because their offense is going to score about 30 points on Carolina, and Carolina is not going to be able to keep up offensively, in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we both have the Cowboys winning that game. Next game, the Patriots playing the Saints in New Orleans. This game, I got the Patriots. I think the Patriots going to come out here and just make a statement against the Saints. I know Saints won last week. Spencer Rattler, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a hater on Spencer Rattler because I've been saying he's the worst quarterback in the league. He shouldn't be starting, but he's actually had a good couple games. I'm not gonna lie. Spencer Rattler is actually playing really well the last couple games, but I think this is where it comes to an end. I think the New England defense is going to be too much for him. I think Spencer Rattler is going to struggle against that defensive line that's going to be getting to him a lot. And I think Drake May is going to end up cooking that defense. I'm going to say 27. I'm going to say 27-14. New England wins this game on the road.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same score. Exactly the same score I had as well. Because um, I feel like New Orleans is probably getting a little bit too ahead of themselves in terms of like, yeah, we were able to win a game that nobody thought we were going to win, such as the Giants. Not saying it was going to be a blowout, but they just think that from what the Giants has been proven lately, that they think it was going to be a pretty much a cakewalk. But
Mhm.
um, they are going against a team that is pretty much getting onto a roll right now, and especially with a big victory they had against Buffalo last Thursday. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the same score. I just feel like New England is just a very much better team. Stephon Diggs and Drake May are on their game, and their defense is low key underrated right now. Like I'm
Mhm.
really surprised. I'm surprised, but not surprised because New England always has these undrafted late rounders that just seem to come out of nowhere and just make big plays. So as we've seen against Josh Allen and them. So yeah, I just feel like New England is going to get the best out of them this week in New Orleans.
Yeah, I agree. I just think Drake May and this team is starting to click, and I think they're going to start making that playoff push to make sure they get into the playoffs, and it's going to be a good starting spot for them against New Orleans. Now, the next one, Browns going into Pittsburgh to play Pittsburgh Steelers. This game, I'm going to call it this is going to be the Shador game. Where I mean by
Yeah,
Shador game, this is going to be the game where Dylan Gabriel's going to struggle against the Steelers, and then next week we're going to see Shador Sanders starting that game. I think Dylan Gabriel comes out here, struggles against the Steelers. I think the Steelers are going to dominate this game. That defense, I think, is going to be too much for Dylan Gabriel. I see Dylan Gabriel throwing a pick, maybe even two, because either he's going to throw a pick or two, or they're going to be too stagnant on offense like last week. How they didn't throw anything outside anything big. They just had him throwing balls, little screens, little drag routes, things that are very small. That's why they can't score that many points. And I believe this is where they might try to trust Dylan Gabriel a little bit more than he's going to show us who he is. And I do believe this is going to be the last game Dylan Gabriel starts, and we're going to see Shador start next week. I'm hoping for that, but I think the Steelers roll this game. I think Aaron Rodgers has a good game. I'm gonna say a little bit of low scoring, not too high, but I'm gonna say Pittsburgh wins this game. I'm gonna say 20-10. Steelers win this game.
yeah, we're still very on the same page and kind of keeping these predictions really pretty close. I don't think it's going to be too crazy either with this in terms of how high scoring this game is going to be. So I'm gonna say 21-13 Pittsburgh.
21-13. Yeah, I don't think too high scoring, but I think the Steelers win this game comfortably, mainly just because I don't see Dylan Gabriel scoring that many points. Like I said, I'm calling it the Shador game. I'm seeing this is gonna be the last start for Dylan Gabriel, and I hope next week is gonna be the week we see Shador Sanders starting for that Browns team. So yeah, we both think the Steelers kind of win comfortably because that the offense is gonna be stagnant for the Browns.
Yeah.
Next game, guys. The game everybody has been waiting for. The game of the week. The Titans playing the Raiders. Guys, I'm kidding. Ain't nobody waiting for this game. But Titans playing the Raiders. This game, I honestly don't know who I'm picking. This is going to be like the hardest game, in my opinion. I am going to be. I feel like everyone thought I was going to say like Niners and Bucks or like Chiefs and Lions. I said Titans and Raiders. Yes, the two horrible teams, guys. Titans taking on the Raiders in Las Vegas. Guys, I can't see myself picking that. Can both the teams lose?
You
Like,
you go
can
first.
both the teams lose? Can I pick nobody? Can I pick a draw? Like nobody wins this game. But to be honest, I'm gonna say Cam Ward gets a win. I'm gonna say the Titans win this game because I think Geno's gonna throw another pick, and just the way Geno's been throwing so many picks, I just can't pick the Raiders anymore. I picked them as the underdog last week against the Colts, and they looked horrible. This week, I think they're gonna look horrible again. Titans defense offense is kind of stagnant. Like I said, Cam Ward said many times. I think he said it once or twice now. He said, "Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. We ass," and I believe like both these two teams are ass. So I'm gonna take the Titans to win this game. Low scoring, 17-14 Titans.
Yep. Back on the same predictions, man. Keeping it really, if not the exact same scores, neck and neck, man. So yeah, I'm gonna say they come out and beat the Raiders in Vegas 17-13 just because Gino is just, oh god, it's
Yeah.
hard to watch that man now.
Yeah, Gino cannot throw a ball at all right now. Like this season he's missing everybody. I swear like it's looking really bad for Gino. Like if you put Gino at like Lake Isabella, he'd throw into the giant lake and he somehow they tell him throw the ball in the lake and he'll somehow hit the one little tiny rock that's above the lake and it'll land right there. I swear like that man just cannot throw the ball to anywhere and hit anything right. So now, guys, the game that's actually going to be a good game. The 49ers going into Tampa Bay, playing the Buccaneers. We got Mac and Cheese starting the game again. Mac and Cheese out here 3-0, going against Baker Mayfield. Again, two good quarterbacks I actually like. So this game, I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I'm taking the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers win this game again. I think they start off 5-1. I think Mac Jones loses his first game as a 49er. I just believe this game is probably going to be close. It's going to be close coming down to the end. And then if the game's going to be close coming down to the end, I think Baker. I just cannot pick against Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield is going to win the game again in a close matchup. If the game is within a touchdown, I'm always going to pick Baker to pull that game off. So I'm going to say this game is going to be a very good game. I'm going to say Buccaneers win this game 30-27, and I'm going to say Baker leads another game-winning drive.
Yeah. I had made a joke to one of my close friends from back home yesterday. I was like, Mac Jones should have just went to UC Santa Cruz so he could be the official banana slug boy
Yeah. Yeah.
from forever. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
man, this man just gobbling him down like it was like they was gonna
11
be.
bananas.
Yeah, like he was down on like they was gonna be erased from the entire earth, like they were not gonna be in stock anymore. But yeah, I'm gonna say this is gonna be another close game as well. I was trying to figure out like, are they gonna start Mac again, or is Purdy come back? If Purdy came back, I'd have been like, I don't know, maybe we might just let it slip. But and not to say that Mac Jones is not gonna put up a crazy fight, but I feel like it. I mean, just from recent times, it's always been pretty close between the Niners and the Bucks. So and once again, for the second year in a row, we're playing in Tampa Bay. So, yeah, I feel like if it comes down to the wire and it'll be close, leaving the ball and once again in Baker's hands, I feel like he's gonna probably lead. He's gonna lead them into another game-winning drive, and yeah, I'm gonna say exact same score, 30-27 Bucks.
Yeah, I think another game winning drive for Baker, probably going to make his MVP case a little bit more. Now, guys, I kind of one the only thing I disagree with you on that game is if you said if Purdy was playing, you would think it'd be like a little bit probably you might think a game might slip away. I think if Purdy was playing, I'd be picking the Bucks to win this game 30-14. I think honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like I told you, I think Max is a better quarterback than Purdy. I really do. Like I'm not a fan of Purdy. I think Purdy would have struggled against the Buccaneers. One thing about the Buccaneers, too, guys, their offensive line is finally healthy. Baker has a healthy offensive line this week, so he's going to come out there and he's going to have more time. He's not going to have to be running around the whole entire backfield anymore. He's going to actually have some time to throw the ball, so that's going to help the Buccaneers as well. And Rashad White is going to eat this week. Trust me, Rashad White is going to have a great game. But now, next game, guys, Bengals taking
Parcells
on
not
the
even playing either.
huh?
What's that receiver for the Niners? Parcell.
Yeah, was he out?
Yeah, he's out too. So I was like, yeah, that's definitely gonna help us with the little advantage.
Yeah, so yeah, Buccaneers will win that game. Next game, guys. Joe Flacco taking on J Lo, Jordan Love. We're gonna be going with the Packers in this one. I think the Packers beat the Bengals. I just don't think Joe Flacco is gonna win. I think Joe Flacco gonna struggle against his Packers defense. I think he's hiding away. But I am taking the Packers. I think the Packers win this game pretty easily. I think Joe Flacco's going to struggle. I think it was a horrible trade for the Bengals. So give me the Packers. I think the Packers win this game at home. I'm going to say 27-13 Packers.
Yeah, pretty much same here, man. I was gonna say like 30 or maybe 27 somewhere. They're starting to kind of bump it up a notch, and towards the second half, they probably just get comfortable, and Jordan Love's probably just gonna go crazy. Defense is probably gonna just really shut down Cincinnati because Green Bay has been kind of questionable themselves, as we were talking about before in recent episodes. But even with them acquiring old ass Joe Flacco, I'm just like, bro, like, you really think it's gonna put more points on the board? So yeah, I'm gonna just say like 27-12.
27-12. Yeah. I don't think Joe Flacco's going to be able to do anything. Me and you just talked about that on the last episode, too. Like, why? Why would you trade for Joe Flacco? Like, out of everybody you could have got, you got Joe Flacco. You're only one game behind in the division, and you literally got Joe Flacco. You could have got Jameis, or you could have got Russ to go in there and actually try to win the division still. They're only one game behind in the division with how bad they've been playing. It's kind of crazy to me. But,
Put me out there.
yeah, but put me out there.
Yeah.
But now, next game, guys, the real game of the week now. And I know Titans or Raiders, the real game of the week. Chiefs playing taking on the Lions. The Lions are going into Arrowhead. This game, I'm gonna leave this one off. I'm going to be taking the Detroit Lions. I honestly think they're gonna come in here. They're gonna look really good against Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes might have a good game, but I think it's going to be a really good game back and forth. But I think the Lions pulled it off at the end. They that 1-2 punch in the backfield with Montgomery taking on that's it taking on, but Montgomery and Gibbs taking on that Chiefs defense. I think they're going to have a good game. I think Jared Goff's going to have a good game. I think Patrick Mahomes might struggle a bit, but I'm going to be taking the Lions to win this game. I think the Lions pull this game off. I'm gonna say the Lions pull this game off. I'm gonna say 27-24 Lions.
Mm, okay. Yeah, I also am gonna have to roll with Detroit. Detroit, because yeah, it's probably gonna. I think KC is gonna try to make a statement early. They might even go up, like make the first touchdown, but um, yeah, I just don't know if they're. I wouldn't even say that they're back just yet. Just because they're still trying to figure a lot on that offense, and Detroit clearly has their number when it comes down to really both sides of the ball, if you really think about it. So I do feel like it's going to be a back and forth game, but when it really matters, Detroit's going to
Mhm.
probably just slip up and go up an extra touchdown. So I'm gonna say 31-23 Detroit.
31-23 Detroit. Yep, I do believe it. Honestly, I think the Lions win this game. Probably going to be a close game all the way to the Lions pull away. Taylor Swift cannot save you guys this year. The Kansas City Chiefs, tell you that one. Taylor Swift cannot save you guys this year. So now the next game we're going to be getting into is going to be Monday Night Football. We're going to have two games for Monday Night Football this week. First one's going to be the
Yep.
Bills going into Atlanta, taking on the Falcons. Guys, I think it's going to be a bounce back for the Bills. I think the Bills come out here, win this game comfortably. Atlanta hasn't been looking too good, and I do believe the Bills win comfortably this game. I'm going to say Bills win this game. I'm going to say 30-20 Bills.
30-20 Bills. Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. 30-20 or like 21-30 Buffalo. I don't feel like um Buffalo is gonna let this game slip because I know how much they are kind of taking it personal or how they lost to New England at home on Thursday nights. And as for Atlanta, it's not really much to say about them except for the fact they're still trying to establish themselves as well. Of like, you pay this man Kirk Cousins all this money to ride the bench just to go with Michael Penix, and it's like, not to say he's a bad quarterback, but clearly you guys, it's not the answer for you guys to really overcome this hump of even being competitive in this NFC South. So, um, yeah, I'm gonna say they win. I'm gonna say Buffalo kind of wins comfortably as well, like 28-20.
28-20 Buffalo. I think they win this game pretty. I think it's gonna be a very good bounce back for them. I know they're on the road. If they were at home, I'd probably be saying like 38-20 or something like that. But they're in Atlanta, so I think it's gonna be a little bit closer. But I think the Bills win this game pretty comfortably. I don't see Atlanta being able to keep up with them. Now for the last game of the whole entire week, guys, it is gonna be the rematch from the crazy Hail Mary game last year where the Bears had the game, and then Jaden throws a crazy Hail Mary. He had Tupac playing on before his game. He said Hail Mary. And I said to the guys, like I said, I'm but yeah, I'm
I ain't no.
but yeah, I'm gonna be going with the Bears. I think the Bears win this matchup. I like the Bears going into this game. I personally think Caleb's gonna have a good game. It's, I guess, a rematch between the first overall pick and the second overall pick. I think if it comes down to it, if it comes down to where Jaden Daniels comes out there and throws another Hail Mary to win the game, I'm just gonna go to church and be like, I'm gonna sit there like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I can't. This man really came out there and got another Hail Mary to win the game. But I'm gonna go Bears. I think the Bears win this game. I'm gonna say 24-21 Bears pull it off.
24-21. See, I'm not gonna lie. Surprisingly, this was the hardest prediction I had to come up with this week because easily I wanted to be like, yeah, this is the game um for Caleb to come out and really show everybody, especially on a Monday night. He seems to be thriving more when it comes down for them to play on a Monday compared to a
Mm-hmm.
Sunday. Not to say that they haven't played good on Sundays, but he's really
What's
doing
up,
good.
Mr. Carter?
What up though? And
And our show is comedy. Our show, we funny out here. We try to be funny sometimes. You know how we be.
yeah, shout out to Kisses to God, man. Thank you for tuning in, man, showing your big support. Um, so yeah, I was like, man, this was probably the hardest prediction. I had to really take my time when it was like, okay, each drive, quarter by quarter, who would actually come out on top? Because I don't feel like it would have been a cakewalk for the Bears for starters because Washington looked like they were. damn near coming back to how they once were before. You know, having JD come back and playing the way that he did against the Chargers last week. So
Hmm.
um, I feel like it's going to be relatively a good game. So I'm gonna say the the Bears win 27-23.
27-23 Bears. Guys, you hear that? We just did the whole entire slate, and me and Hez agreed on every single game this week. That is rare. We've only done that one time the whole entire week. And that week, we went like nine, I think we went like nine for 11 on those games. So we last time we agreed, we did really well. So we agreed on all the games as well. I'm surprised. I thought he was gonna take the Commanders, but in Caleb, we trust. So give me the Bears on the last Monday night football of the game. And guys, that is our entire football slate for today. We talked about the Eagles and Jackson Dart. We talked about a little bit of the tush push. We talked about a lot of different things in this episode. And you guys want, after the video is posted, go watch from the beginning to see what topics we talked about. We went through our whole entire slate. We agreed on all of them. And that's it going to be it for episode 12, guys, of the Wager Zone. Before we get out of here, Hez, is there any other topics you wanted to speak about before we get out of here?
No, just wanted to wrap it up and say shout out to Mr. the God for tuning in. Appreciate
Yep.
y'all big support. And just I wanna low key personally DM Jackson Dart and be like, look, stop hanging out with this dude Scatterbones, and you gonna end your career early too, man. Like you're a quarterback. You don't need to be sparing people with your head. Like, well, first of all, it's illegal. They're trying to crack that on that now, but this man just hangs around with this guy too damn much, man. Like chill. Like take a day off. Just go do something you want to do. Go play golf. Go hang out with your other friends. Like, man, this
Go
guy is
do
just
things
like you
quarterbacks
said earlier. It's like just too pit
Go
bull.
do things quarterbacks are supposed to be doing. Scatterbro is that dude that's like jumping off and jumping on the tables at the frat parties, just like doom, just breaking stuff on like that. And Jackson Dart, you go do your homework. Go chill in the dorm for a little bit. You're not supposed to be coming out here doing that stuff. But one thing about Jackson Dart, I like his swagger. Like I told you, he reminds me of I want to say Josh Allen, Josh Allen almost to like I want to say Josh Allen and Drake May, but they all kind of play the same. Like he reminds me of that style of player, but he has that Baker Mayfield swagger like to him. I swear, like this dude's great. I like Jackson Dart a lot, but yeah, guys, that is going to be it for episode 12 after the snap. We will be back Wednesday to cover all the topics after this whole entire Sunday and Monday night football. We're going to be getting into it. Guys, if you guys are here for the first time, click that thumbs up, like the video, subscribe. In about 30 minutes, I will be going live again. Tune in for that. I'm going to be doing a live watch along for UFC Brazil. Me and Mr. Carter will be on the live, doing a live watch along, so tune in for that. So this is episode 12, guys. We'll be back Wednesday, talk about all the slates. I'm the Wager Zone, tuning out of here. Hez, you want to say bye to the people before I tune out?
Yep. As always, man. Everybody stay safe, stay positive, stay hydrated. You know, everybody stay authentically who you are, and don't change that for no one.
Yep, I agree with him, except for staying hydrated. I drink coffee and I get dehydrated all day. So I'm telling you, probably need to drink some more water on myself. I'm over here drinking coffee all day. I'm about to get like my body is just like, but all right,
Filter out, brother.
but all right, guys, we out of here, and I'll see you guys Wednesday.
Yes, sir. Peace.